Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Russia dismisses Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky's peace plan that he proposes to present to US President Joe Biden. The Kremlin says it will fight on. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer holds talks with his German counterpart Olaf Scholz in Berlin, says a UK-Germany treaty will be part of a wider reset with Europe. And Donald Trump faces a revised indictment over his alleged bid to overturn his 2020 election loss. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer received military honours at the Chancellery in Berlin as German Chancellor Olaf Scholz welcomed him. The two leaders held talks on a new pact they hope will bring about an unprecedented degree of bilateral military cooperation. During a joint press meeting in Berlin, Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz said that he is delighted about Starmer's bid to improve British-EU relations, while the UK Prime Minister said its new pact with Germany is a big step towards enhancing relations with the rest of the European Union.
A new UK-Germany treaty, a once-in-a-generation chance to deliver for working people in Britain and in Germany. A new agreement, a testament to the depth and potential of our relationship, with deeper links on science, technology, development, people, business, culture, a boost to our trading relations.
Earlier, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer met Germany's President Frank-Walter Steinmeier as he aims to reset the UK's relationship with Europe. The British Prime Minister signed a guest book at the Bellevue Palace in Berlin before posing for photographers. Starmer will head to Paris for the Paralympics opening ceremony on Wednesday. He is scheduled to hold talks with President Emmanuel Macron. Former US President Donald Trump has been charged with a new indictment on Tuesday, accusing him of illegally trying to overturn his 2020 election loss. Special counsel Jack Smith's team accused Trump of a multi-part conspiracy to block the certification of his election defeat to Joe Biden. It asked the court to revive the criminal case, accusing Trump of retaining classified documents after a lower court dismissed the indictment in July. The Kremlin on Wednesday dismissed talk by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky about a plan he has to end the war and said Russia would continue what it calls its special military operation in Ukraine. Zelensky said on Tuesday that he would present his plan to US President Joe Biden and his two potential successors. Zelensky, addressing a news conference, said Kyiv's three-week-old incursion into Russia's Kursk region was part of his plan, but that it also comprised other steps on the economic and diplomatic fronts. Meanwhile, Russia said that its forces had defused unexploded US-supplied munitions fired by Ukraine, shot from Russia's Kursk nuclear power plant on Wednesday. Russia's National Guard, Rosgvardia, said its sappers had found a shell from a US-supplied HIMARS multiple launch rocket system just 5 kilometers from the power plant, and a rocket fragment stuffed with 180 unexploded munitions. The soldiers were seen inspecting fragments of the rocket. Meanwhile, the Kremlin dismissed talk by Zelensky's his plan to end the conflict and said that Russia will keep fighting on. An oil depot in Russia's Kremensky district in the Rostov region was set on fire after a purported drone attack by Ukraine. A Telegram channel close to Russia's security services said 3 tanks were burning after 2 drones fell on the territory of the oil depot. The attack comes while tanks were still on fire at another Rostov oil depot in the Proletarsk district. While Rostov's governor Vasily Golubev said 4 Ukraine-launched drones were destroyed over the region, he said no casualties were recorded and the firefighters were extinguishing the fire. Now, French investigative judges are due to decide later on Wednesday whether to place Russian-born Telegram boss Pavel Durov under formal investigation following his arrest as part of a probe into organized crime on the messaging app. Being placed under formal investigation in France does not imply guilt or necessarily lead to trial, but it shows that judges consider there is enough to the case to proceed with the probe. Investigations can last years before being sent to trial or shelved. A source at the Paris prosecutor's office said an update on the probe was likely to be issued late on Wednesday. The overall investigation is at this stage directed against unspecified people. And now take a look at what else is making news around the world. The Pacific Island states have endorsed an Australian-funded $400 million Australian dollar plan to improve police training and create a mobile regional policing unit to reduce China's security footprint in the area. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said after the plan was agreed by consensus during a meeting of the Pacific Islands in Tonga. The Korea Communications Standards Commission, the state media regulator, held a meeting on 28 August to discuss countermeasures against sexually explicit deepfakes. The concerns came to the fore after domestic media reported sexually explicit deepfake images and videos of South Korean women in Telegram chat rooms. Argentina's Vice President Victoria Villarreal promises to reopen all cases of victims of terrorism involving the leftist terror groups that operated in the 1970s, defying human rights organizations that accused her of ignoring the genocide committed during the civil-military dictatorship. Malaysia's civil aviation regulator has cut the duration of Malaysia Airlines' air operator certificate from 3 years to 1. The state carrier is on probe because of technical issues. Malaysia Aviation Group had said to temporarily reduce its flights and routes across its carriers until December this year. And still to come on DD India Live. Japan issues emergency warning as powerful typhoon Shanshan nears. And the Venice Film Festival to kick off with a screening of Beetlejuice.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we will tell you about defense and diplomacy panning out from Poland, Ukraine, and right up to United States of America. What does this mean in real tangible terms? How does this underscore India's multipolar worldview by exercising strategic autonomy and much more? Also, what's the strategic implication of Indian military officers being stationed with different US commands? Watch Defense Dynamics this week on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his Chilean counterpart Alberto Van Claveren met at Hyderabad House in New Delhi on Wednesday. Chile's foreign minister is on a 3-day visit to New Delhi for the second India-Chile Joint Commission meeting that took place on Wednesday. Minister Claverin will participate along with his agriculture ministerial colleague Esteban Valenzuela in Chile-India Business Agriculture Summit before leaving for Mumbai. During the Joint Commission meeting, S. Jaishankar welcomed the delegates and said Chile is one of the key partners of India and it values the participation of Chile in the Voice of the Global South Summit.
As I welcome you, let me also say we very much value the participation of Chile in the Voice of Global South summits. We heard your president. He gave a very insightful set of remarks at the summit in August. We also thank you very much for your support for our permanent membership in the Expanded Security Council. Your own participation in the Trade and Economic Ministers meeting in November 2023 is also something we appreciate very deeply.
In a landmark decision on Wednesday, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs of India, chaired by the country's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved 12 new project proposals under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program with an estimated investment of more than $3 billion. The move is set to transform the industrial landscape of the country, creating a robust network of industrial nodes and cities that will significantly boost economic growth and global competitiveness.
ये 12 नए इंडस्ट्रियल एरियाज कंबाइंड इनमें इन्वेस्टमेंट सरकार की तरफ से आएगा 28,602 करोड़ का 28,602 करोड़ का और वंस दीज कॉरिडोर्स एंड नोड्स आर डेवलप्ड उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट पोटेंशियल है 1.5 लाख करोड़ 1,52,757 करोड़ और करीब 10 लाख एम्प्लॉयमेंट का इसमें पोटेंशियल है.
In another decision, the Cabinet approved rolling out private FM radio to 234 cities or towns that remained uncovered so far. The Cabinet approved the proposal to conduct e-auctions for 730 channels in 234 new cities with an estimated reserve price of Rs 784.87 crore under the private FM radio Phase 3 policy.
234 cities जिनमें 730 चैनल्स को एक्सपैंड करने के लिए ये फैसला लिया गया है. इसमें रेडियो इंडस्ट्री की बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स जो थी उनको भी सॉल्व किया गया है उनके फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ को सुधारने के हिसाब से और लोकल टैलेंट पे फोकस करते हुए प्रोजेक्ट है.
The 6th edition of FICCI Road Safety Awards celebrates and showcases innovative solutions and impactful initiatives that have significantly contributed to reducing road accidents, injuries and fatalities. Speaking at the occasion and felicitating the winners, Minister for Roads Transport Nitin Gadkari stressed that corporates have a vital role to play in creating a more cohesive and impactful approach to road safety. Odisha backed the state honours for its innovative road safety initiatives. A knowledge report on transforming India's road safety scenario was released during the awards ceremony. In Bangladesh, the interim government there, led by Professor Muhammad Yunus on Wednesday, lifted the ban on Jamaat-e-Islami and its student wing, the Islami Chhatra Shibir. The Home Ministry issued a notification in this regard. The notification said a decision will be effective immediately. Earlier, on the 1st of August, the previous Awami League-led government had banned the Jamaat, the Shibir and all of its associated organizations as political entities under the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2009. The world's largest financial inclusion initiative, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, completed 10 years of its implementation on Wednesday. The initiative had a profound impact on every corner of India, be its transformational impact on financial inclusion, women's empowerment, access to credit, UPI and digital services are crucial steps in the journey to a developed India. In a post on social media platform LinkedIn, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that today more than 53 crore people have bank accounts having a deposit balance of more than 2.3 lakh crore rupees. More than 65% of the Jan Dhan Yojana accounts are either in rural or semi-urban areas. Direct transfers worth almost rupees 39 lakh crore have taken place. Mr. Modi further said that Jan Dhan Yojana has proven to be a game changer as far as women's empowerment is concerned. Almost 30 crore women have been brought into the banking fold. Jan Dhan also became a vital pillar of the JAM Trinity, meaning Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and mobile. Over 40% of real-time digital payments in the world happen in India. The PM Jan Dhan Yojana personifies dignity, empowerment and the opportunity to participate in the economic life of the nation. Now, India is often referred to as the pharmacy of the world, given its remarkable production capability and crucial interventions in issues of global health. Taking forward the leadership role of India's pharma sector, a three-day international pharmaceutical exhibition began in Greater Noida. DD India Shubhendu Ghosh gets you more.
The 10th International Pharmaceutical Exhibition kick-started at India Expo Mart in Greater Noida on Wednesday. Union Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Jitin Prasada, inaugurated the exhibition. He emphasized on global leadership of India's pharma sector and growing export potential in the domain.
India's pharmaceutical exports have expanded to encompass around 200 destination markets. India's pharma exports have grown steadily from USD 15.28 billion in 2014-15 to USD 27.85 billion in 23-24 in these 10 years, with a CAGR of 6.9%. The exports have almost doubled since Prime Minister Modi took charge of the government in 2014.
International Pharmaceutical Exhibition brings together the drugs, pharmaceutical and healthcare industry all under one roof. With over 450 exhibitors, this is one of the largest showcase of Indian pharmaceutical products and technologies to a global audience. 400 plus overseas buyers from over 100 countries are participating in the exhibition. It will offer the industry majors from India and all across the world a great platform to connect and do business.
We have basically multiple formulations with us. So like we participate every year in IFEX and generally we get a positive response. So even this year we would like to express our company in different countries as well so that we can even represent India also via PharmaExcel.
I'm there only to know more about this exhibition and also to get linked with other partners because we know that if you don't have a lot of partners, the price increases.
On the occasion, outstanding export performance awards were also given. Many brainstorming sessions on issues facing the pharma sector are also taking place at the venue. The exhibition will conclude on 30th August. India ranks third in the global production of pharmaceuticals and drugs. Platforms like the International Pharmaceuticals Exhibition are expected to play a key role in making quality and affordable medicines from India available across the world. With camera person Piyush, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Greater Noida.
India's Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Ministry of Women and Child Development launched Skill Development Program for Women in New Delhi on Wednesday. This program will target to upskill adolescent girls and women in 27 aspirational districts across the country. Under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, the program aims to train around 3,850 women in high-demand job roles focusing on digital and soft skills. This initiative seeks to address barriers to workforce entry for women, offering support like counseling, career guidance and job placement assistance. The project is a key step towards bridging the gender gap in workforce participation and will be expanded to more districts.
Any country's development primarily depends upon the women empowerment because, as Honorable Prime Minister has said, that women-led development is pervasive and its impact is comprehensive. So in that sense, if we are able to bring our adolescent girls and women while taking care of their health and nutrition, also give them skilling, and that will be the fundamental to whatever the development effort which we are doing.
We had signed an MOU with the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, where the adolescent girls from 27 districts presently and later on from 218 districts of the country, these girls 14 to 18 years would be trained in generally non-traditional roles through the agency of Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana training partners and Jan Shikshan Sansthan and also government institutions.
And now to a weather update for the western Indian state of Gujarat. The coastal district of Dwarka has been most affected with heavy rainfall, resulting in most of the areas marooned in rainwater. A red alert has been issued for districts in Saurashtra and southern Gujarat. Many rivers like Vishwamitri, Ambika, Purna and Mahi have overflown, causing flooding in low-lying areas. Heavy rains have resulted in blocking of a few national highways, state road transport ceasing operations for buses to Saurashtra, and delay in trains of the Western Railways. Many trains have also been cancelled because of heavy waterlogging on railway tracks. Japan braced itself on Wednesday for what officials say could be one of the strongest storms to ever hit the country's southwestern region. Some residents in the path of the typhoon Shanshan have been ordered to evacuate. Major firms such as Toyota have closed their factories. Airlines and rail operators have cancelled some services for the coming days. The country's meteorological agency has issued an emergency warning, and authorities have issued evacuation orders for more than 800,000 people in Kagoshima Prefecture in southern Kyushu and central Japan's Aichi and Shizuoka prefectures. And DD India's Chris Gilbert has sent us this report from Tokyo.
Typhoon Shanshan is set to be one of the strongest on record for Japan, according to the country's meteorological agency. It's bringing gusts of up to 40 to 70 meters per second. It's bringing deluges of up to 140 millimeters of rain per hour. And it's bringing high seas and storm surges, heightening the risk of flooding, mudslides and landslides for large parts of western Japan, which have already experienced weeks of rain, loosening soil throughout the summer so far. It is bearing down on the western island of Kyushu well into Thursday, and from there it is expected to pivot and effectively engulf all of Japan, bringing these severe conditions to effectively the entire country towards the weekend. But even now, the danger is very real for all parts of Japan, because the meteorological agency says that the warm winds from Typhoon Shanshan are creating deluges in parts of the country that are still far from it, including Iwate Prefecture in the north, which is experiencing record-breaking deluges, and Aichi Prefecture in the middle of Japan, which has already experienced landslides, which has crushed a house with 5 people inside, and 2 of which have at least been rescued. And there have been mudslide and landslide warnings remaining in place for large parts of central Japan. But the message coming from authorities is for extreme vigilance, for people to evacuate ahead of time while they are able to do so ahead of the storm hitting their region. That was the message for the residents of Amami Island ahead of time. The first part of Japan that the storm hit earlier in the week, they successfully managed to get the word out to all the residents there. That's been the message for the residents of Kyushu, and will very likely be the message for the residents of the rest of Japan as the storm bears down over the entire country this week, bringing extreme conditions, especially for the country's elderly, who are less mobile and who need greater help, especially in the rural areas, to leave those high-risk mudslide and landslide disaster zones. So extreme vigilance is the warning coming from the meteorological agency as Typhoon Shanshan bears down on the country throughout the rest of the week. Chris Gilbert in Tokyo reporting for DD India.
The 81st edition of the Venice Film Festival will kick off with a star-studded start with the world premiere of Beetlejuice on Wednesday. The Beetlejuice, a Warner Brothers release, is premiering out of a competition at the Venice Film Festival before hitting theaters worldwide next week. The film festival will be a busy 10-day event on the Lido, the barrier island across the Venetian lagoon, where the festival has been held since 1932. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. You can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download it. And let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.